Mira Vasquez was furious. Standing in her backyard in Phoenix, Arizona, she surveyed the disaster left behind from yet another unauthorized pool invasion. Discarded beer bottles bobbing in the water, soaked towels strewn across the lounge chairs, and cigarette ashes littering her expensive wooden deck. The audacity of these people was unbelievable. At 39, Mira wasn't just another homeowner. She had fought tooth and nail for everything she owned. No silver spoon, no wealthy husband. She had started at the bottom, cleaning houses at 18, scraping together every dime, and grinding her way up. Now, she ran 3 thriving businesses and lived in a home that made envious whispers circulate through the neighborhood. The first trespass happened on a quiet Thursday. Mira came home early from a business trip and heard laughter. When she stepped outside, she found a group of teenagers lounging in her pool, chugging beers, and acting like they belonged there. Ow! Now! Her voice sliced through the humid air. The intruders scrambled, grabbing their phones and towels. One of them, a cocky-looking kid, smirked. "Chill, Miss Vasquez." The gate was open. It absolutely wasn't. They had jumped the fence. The next day, she confronted their parents. "Big mistake. They're just having fun," one mother scoffed, barely looking up from her iced coffee. "It's summer. Relax." "Relax?" Myra's blood boiled. "The issue is your kids broke into my yard." "Broke in," one dad chuckled. "It's a pool, not Fort Knox. You're overreacting." Mira installed security cameras, reinforced the gates, and put up no trespassing signs. None of it worked. The entitlement only grew. A week later, she caught an entire family making themselves at home. Children doing cannonballs, parents reclining on her lounge chairs, a full picnic set up on her deck. "We figured it was fine," one woman said lazily, not even bothering to stand. Melissa from book club said you hardly use it. Melissa, the neighbor who had been passive-aggressively sniping at Mira since she moved in, always muttering about how old money was being overshadowed by newcomers. The break-ins kept escalating. Every weekend, more strangers, more mess, more nerve. Mira found trash in her bushes, cigarette butts clogging her pool filter, and someone had even vomited on her patio. Then came the social media posts. Pictures of strangers partying in her backyard with captions like "Best Hidden Gem in Phoenix" and "Free pool access. Bring your friends." Her home had become an internet sensation. Now, people were driving in from other neighborhoods just to crash her property. Mira couldn't even run errands without returning to find more trespassers. And then, the final straw. She discovered someone was running a business on her land, charging admission for pool parties. The proof? A blatant Instagram advertisement. VIP pool events. $30 per guest every Saturday. Bring your own drinks. DM for details. Mira called the police. They showed up, took statements, nodded sympathetically, and did absolutely nothing. "This is a civil matter," they told her. Furious, she tracked down the person running the pool scam, another local troublemaker, Vanessa. "People want a luxury pool experience," Vanessa said with a casual shrug, counting her earnings. "You're just hoarding it." Hoarding. Mira had sacrificed 2 decades to build this life, to buy this house, to have this pool. Now, these freeloaders thought they were entitled to it? The following Saturday, she counted 48 intruders in her yard. Music thumping, children shrieking, adults getting drunk. Someone had even set up a grill and was flipping burgers on her patio. A woman Mira had never seen before lifted her cocktail and grinned. "Amazing party. You should join us." Join them? In her own pool? Mira watched a kid puke directly into the water while his mother snapped selfies, oblivious. A group of men downed shots on her deck, spilling whiskey all over her furniture. Someone's dog was lifting its leg against her expensive potted plants. That was it. She had been patient. She had played fair. They thought they could walk all over her, treat her home like a community center? Fine. She'd play along. Let them believe they had the upper hand. Let them get comfortable. But Mira had a plan, one that would make sure no one would ever want to sneak into her pool again. That night, she sat at her desk, watching the security footage. Her fingers drummed against the table, her jaw clenched with fury. These people weren't just disrespectful. They were about to learn a lesson they wouldn't forget. Game on. First stop, the pool supply store. Mira knew exactly what she needed. The cashier eyed her shopping list with curiosity. Stocking up for a big pool season? He asked. Mira smiled. You could say that. Next, she headed to a custom sign shop. She didn't want flimsy, handwritten warnings. She needed bold, professional-grade signage. The kind that made trespassers second-guess their choices and lawyers nod in approval. But the real game changer? Chemical dye packs. Completely harmless but extremely effective. The kind that turns pool water a deep, unnatural shade when triggered. High-end resorts use them to expose pool rule breakers. Mira was about to use them for something far more satisfying. That night, she put her plan into action. Stronger locks, high-resolution cameras, motion-activated floodlights. And then the signs went up. Pool under active chemical treatment. Unauthorized use may result in severe skin staining. Management not responsible for property damage caused by security measures. For extra effect, she placed some official-looking chemical jugs near the pool's filtration system. They were empty, of course, but no one else needed to know that. The next morning, Vanessa from 2 houses down walked by while walking her dog. Mira watched from her kitchen window as Vanessa stopped to read the signs. Her expression shifted. She pulled out her phone, started typing. It didn't take long. Within an hour, the local Facebook group exploded. Myra's lost it. She's dumping chemicals in her pool. What if it's dangerous? Someone should report her. Can she even do that? Mira laughed. They weren't mad about safety. They were mad because they couldn't take advantage of her anymore. But entitlement runs deep. And entitled people, they never give up easily. That Saturday, the Real test arrived. It was a perfect, cloudless afternoon. The exact kind of day that usually attracted uninvited guests. Mira waited. At 2 p.m., the first wave arrived. Teenagers. They approached the fence, eyed the new warning signs, glanced at the so-called chemical containers. They whispered amongst themselves. Then, they turned around and left. Mira smirked. An hour later, another group showed up. This time adults, coolers in tow, pool floats tucked under their arms. They got as far as the locked gate before one woman frowned at the sign. Not worth it, she muttered. Let's go to the public pool instead. Victory. But Mira wasn't done yet. Sunday morning, the neighborhood's biggest social event. Melissa's legendary brunch. Right on schedule, Melissa led her entire brunch crowd, 20 well-dressed guests, straight into Myra's backyard. They ignored the signs. Didn't hesitate for a second. Mira watched from her security monitors as Melissa rolled her eyes and waved a hand dismissively. Oh, please, she declared loudly. It's just chlorine. She's trying to scare us. Mira waited. 3 minutes. Then, she pressed the button. The dye packs released. The water, crystal clear seconds ago, turned a deep, vivid purple. The reaction was immediate. Screams, splashes, chaos. Melissa was the first out of the pool, her skin stained inky violet, her designer white swimsuit ruined. Her guests weren't any luckier. They stumbled out, looking like they had been dunked in a vat of grape soda. What did you do? Melissa shrieked, staring at her streaked arms in horror. Mira stepped outside, completely composed. Me? She asked, feigning innocence. I put up clear warnings. You just didn't bother reading them. Word traveled fast. By the next week, the pool was finally hers again. Because here's the thing about entitled people. They don't learn from kindness. They don't learn from warnings. They learn from consequences. And sometimes, those consequences come with a little fluorescent justice.